All right, guys, what's going on? Let me get my seatbelt on. Let's be safe. It's Will Blandon. Let's talk about it. How much should a good holding company actually cost? How much should you actually come out of pocket and pay somebody to set up a really good company where you have anonymity and everything else? Well, the real answer is it's going to be in pieces, meaning you're going to have to spend the money in different places, and that's going to depend on who you want as a business consultant to walk you through the steps. I can tell you that what you get if you choose to use me as your business consultant is somebody that's going to give you the right business structure idea to do this stuff. Meaning that the CPA is going to just be like, well, what kind of business do you do? So you got to give them the right business idea so you get the most in corporate and business credit. And I'm not a genius, but I happen to know what business that is. And this is just going to be for your holding company. This is not going to be for your operating companies. So my fee, because I'm going to spend about 4 months going through step by step what you have to do, what company should you put it under, and step by step walking you through the corporate credit process for about 4 months. My fee is $2,000 up front, or we can break it into payments, but you're going to pay $200 in costs for me breaking it into payments. So that would be $550 a month for 4 months, or $2,000 up front. Now the other costs, because I said in a number of videos that I'm helping you do this stuff 100% legal. So the CPA law firm I go with, you're gonna pay probably $750 to $1,000. So I like to give it a broad range and say about $1,000. You know, and then at the most, your ongoing monthly fees just to keep your business address and stuff like that, maybe $150 a month at the most. So altogether, you need about $3,000 to get this stuff started if you want the best holding company structure where you're going to get the most in corporate credit. Now, what are you paying me for? Not only am I going to give you the right business function, because you need the right business function to get the most corporate credit, is I'm helping you get the corporate credit, as well as give you my connections for credit repair if needed. Some of you need credit repair, some of you don't. For the ones that don't have any personal credit at all, you're golden, because I can give you the tips and strategy to get your personal credit up pretty quickly, probably within those 4 months. So you're golden if you don't have any credit. If you have bad credit, it's going to take a little bit more work on the personal side. I don't do credit repair personally at all, but I will connect you with the right people needed to get that job done. And then I recommend that once you set up this holding company, you at least fund it with about $2,000 as fast as possible, just to get it going, just get some momentum going. If you have a side hustle, that is key. But along with my fee, if you have no money coming in, you're like, well, I don't have no money coming in, where am I going to get the money to put in my holding company? I also could give you ways to come up with ways to do that as well. So, because you got to get at least $2,000 in your holding company quickly. Ideally, you want to put in $5 grand a month, but not everybody can do that. But at least get $2 grand in the account so it looks good. You got started, and you have a side hustle going that could brew some type of extra money. You know. So total, I would say a good rock solid holding company. If you came to me and be like, Will, I need help setting this up, you're gonna spend about $5 grand. But keep in mind, $2 grand of that is just money you're gonna put into your holding company. And if you need to use that money later, you can. So think of it as I like to think of my Navy Federal business account as a emergency fund. I don't touch the money that I put in my holding company account, but best believe if my car broke down tomorrow and I need to pull out $3 grand, I have access to my own money. You see what I'm saying? If I don't have a working credit line, I would always try to use a credit line first when it comes to car issues. But if I don't have a credit line at that moment, I have access to my cash. So you're gonna have access to your $2 grand once you get it in your holding company. So you're really only out up front about 25 to $3 grand. So 2,500 to about $3 grand. You're out of pocket up front. That's what I recommend you come to the table with at least, just to get this going. But a lot of you want to come in and you don't have those funds at all. You know, say you don't have the $3 grand. That's okay. You could be the middleman to a deal. You might go to a friend or a family member and be like, you know, partner with me on this deal, and this is what it's going to cost about us $3 grand to get this up and running. And we will actually have a holding company, and we have a business coach that's going to help us walk through building the corporate credit. And the reason why I said I'm going to do it personally, because until I have a team, I'm going to do this stuff because I'm going to give you the attention you need, like the personal attention. Because the company that I paid to set my holding company up and building a corporate credit, the response time is absolutely horrible, guys. I will not reveal the company name, but I would not be using that company to set your guys up as far as setting up your actual holding company. I will be using a whole nother company that is going to give you the type of attention you need. Sometimes it's just as simple as give me a phone call, let me know where you're at, you know. And this company is horrible at that, so I'm not going to recommend this company at all when I do my holding company course. I'm going to only represent 2 CPA companies that I may work with in the future, because I know you're going to get the kind of attention. They're real lawyers, they're real CPAs. They will give you a reasonable amount of time. Right? You know, sometimes you can't get a hold of these people because of COVID every day, but a reasonable amount of attention needs to go into the client. And if you guys are going to be my client, and I'm going to recommend you to these companies, they have to be a company that I know is going to give you the right attention. So I'm not going to hook you guys up with somebody that I feel that is already pissing me off. So I did already pay them, so that's the reason why I'm still working with that company. They are going to get the job done. It's my only gripe with them is they don't make me feel good. I like to be comfortable with knowing they're on the job, they respond quickly. You know, I leave these guys messages and I may never get a phone call at all. I just got to keep calling until I get a hold of these people. And I don't think that's the kind of company I want my one-on-one clients to work with. Now, this personal attention is a limited time only, because obviously once things start ramping up, I have to hire teammates and staff, You're not going to get my personal attention, but it'll be a team member that I personally picked out. But the best time to get on this deal is now. A limited time, like I said, flat rate, $2,000. And if you're in Connecticut, I literally will hold your hand, walk you through the steps, pick out the kind of company you need for your holding company, how we go about building a corporate credit, what to say to these CPAs, because you have to know what to say to them when they ask you what kind of company, how many shares you want in your company, what state you want to set this up in. You have to know the right questions and answers when you talk to these people, and that's where I can help you out. Now, if I like what you're doing in terms of a company, I will cut that fee in half, meaning that I will only do the $1,000 instead of the $2,000 if you make me a 10% owner in your company. And when I say I mean my holding company will go in 10% with you, and you will have a lifetime of ongoing support. You'll have access to me personally whenever you need me, but this is a personal deal only, and I have to like what you're doing or what you plan on doing. So we would obviously have to talk about what your future goals, what your plans are, and if I like the deal, I will have a 10% ownership in your company. I don't even have to be listed on your bank account. You have full access to your own bank account, your own funds. But obviously, with me being 10% owner, there will be a monthly fee you will pay me as that 10% interest in your company. But you have a lifetime of my support, my personal support. You have access to me by phone whenever you need me. And again, it's got to be a deal that I really want to work with that person. So it's going to be kind of an interview process where we sit down and talk about what your future plans are, what you want to do. And I could give you a hint. The people that have experience or want to get involved with real estate, those are the type of deals I want to do. Those are the type of partners I'm looking for. So that will be a deal where you only have to pay 2 payments if we break it up. You will have to pay probably half of what those fees are to break it up. So it'll probably be only $525 per payment. And then we can actually go in. That doesn't exclude what the fee is for the lawyer fees. You still got to pay that $1,000 or $750 to $1,000 for their fee, for their firm to go in and legally set up your initial entity. That's all they're doing, setting up your initial entity. They're not building the corporate credit. We as a team are going to go in step by step and build your corporate credit. So all in all, I would say for a real rock solid holding company with anonymity, within 4 months corporate credit, you're looking at, and you want to have it funded, so you're looking at about $5,000 up front. 3 if you're not including what you should put in your bank account. And you really should have a side hustle generating some type of money when you start this stuff. But part of my fee is to help you create a way to make that money. So that's part of my fee. That's why it quote unquote might seem high, but if I gotta physically come in to play and show you how to set up a side hustle to even generate money to put in your holding company, you can see why that fee is necessary. If you have a side hustle already, you should consider doing the option where you make me a 10% owner. I lower the upfront cost to get you guys set up, and you'll have my ongoing support for life. While I still live on this earth, ongoing support. Phone call away. You're going to get the personal attention that you really want. And a lot of companies are no longer offering that. And that's unfortunate because their excuse is COVID. So you're going to have a personal attention of a business consultant by the phone. If I can't answer it, guaranteed the companies, the law firms, and CPAs I work with will be able to answer your question. So most operating company questions I can probably answer for you without any difficulty. The stuff I will not be able to answer, certain laws. When it comes to like real estate, obviously we're going to have to consult the law firm that set you up, but they will have the answers for you. You may say, well, why don't I just go to these CPAs and just do this and cut you out altogether? You can do that. But again, you don't know how the right business to set up. You're not going to know what to say to these people. You're not going to know all the new loopholes I've learned with these fintech banks. They're not going to teach you that stuff. They don't even know it. They're just going to tell you, okay, this is what we can do for you. We can set you up a holding company, but you're not going to know what to do with that holding company after they set it up. And the whole point of the holding company is to start generating funds to building corporate credit and building some personal credit so you can go after what I hope your ultimate goal is, which is real estate or buying businesses. Now what you could do is that costs, you could do multiple entities. Meaning, let's say you wanted to come to me, you wanted to do multiple entities at $2,000 each. You could do that. Meaning you can come to me with $8,000 and say, well, let's structure a whole holding company scenario where all the companies are building corporate credit. You could do that. You can have one holding company. We can set that up first. Hopefully put money in it to fund it, because that's where what you would do is set up the holding company first. Put the $6,000 you have left into that holding company, because actually your holding company is what's going to structure your other 3 baby companies under it. But each baby company, we're going to build corporate credit separately. First on your holding company, then you would have go in and do the same thing with your baby companies. You can even go to the same credit providers for each company. So now you have 3-4 times the buying power. And then you can deploy that buying power into, I would say, if you have no idea what you want to do, go in right in and buy a business. Go buy a bodega, and then now you have an operating company paying you day to day, and now you can go after real estate, and now you have a fully functional holding company structure, and each one of your baby companies could just be LLCs holding businesses or property, and you get paid only from the first holding company. So this is videos to kind of give you an idea of the money you may have to put up front to get this stuff going. A lot of you already set up entities. That's one wise guy. He already had an entity set up, and he wanted to incorporate that into a holding company. I'm gonna say I wouldn't do it. There's a lot of reasons why. It kind of kills the anonymity that you have on your holding company. But for a fee, I will go in and help you with building the corporate credit on your existing company, if you want to do that. but I'm not going to recommend you tying that existing company to your holding company structure. Just start over. Just keep your existing company separate. Start this holding company on the side. And if you got an existing company that's making money, you have the means and the funds to get started. So all in all, I would say on average, a holding company that's going to build you corporate credit should run you about $3,000. If you can find it for cheaper, it's not going to be set up as legal as it needs to be, because I'm sending you directly to real CPA law firm. You know, and the reason why I don't just give out that company is some of you are wise guys and will just bypass me altogether and go directly to them anyway. So that defeats the whole point of me getting paid to structure your corporate credit. And if you're smart enough to structure your own corporate credit, yeah, there's 1,000,001 CPA law firms you can go to. They'll structure this stuff for you. First of all, I can tell you they're going to be expensive. Some of these companies are going to charge you $3,000 just to set you up. That's not even building corporate credit. I happen to know one that's very affordable. They're only going to charge maybe $700, $850 to $1,000 to get everything legally structured, to give you rock solid holding company with all the provisions and your articles that protect you from stuff that may occur. And I'm going to tell you what to make sure you have in those articles, you know, so to protect you from things that may come up. So this is just a video to give you an idea what the stuff costs. It is not cheap, but it can be reasonable. I think $3,000 is reasonable for a ironclad holding company that's going to provide you corporate credit. And you could just daisy chain this stuff too. You could just build up corporate credit on the first entity, use those funds to build a whole nother entity underneath it, and keep going. Eventually you can have, you know, slowly 3, 4, 5 companies all building corporate credit, you know, and provided you have some type of money going into your holding company to fund all this stuff, you can keep doing this. It's 100% legal. But disclaimer, I am a business consultant, but I am not a financial or real estate professional. I'm not a CPA, obviously. You can tell by the way I dress. But I'm a regular guy like you guys that are trying to give you this game for a reasonable cost. You know, like I said, there's a lot of law firms out there that will set you up an entity. They'll set you up a holding company, but they're going to hit you hard up front. And they're not going to tell you the tips and tricks and be on call like I would for you. So keep that in mind. With that 10% ownership, I will be at your begging call when you need me, you know, provided I'm available, you know, with ongoing loopholes that I'm learning, because I'm constantly learning new stuff. You're constantly going to learn new stuff. All right, I ran it long enough. I want to thank you guys for your time and continued support so I can bring you these gems. Subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll catch you guys next time.